You called her one of the most known people. One of the things that's unknown currently in this campaign is where she stands on one of the big issues to the Democratic Party, the Trade Promotion Authority, the fast-track vote. There's going to be a vote today, we think, or we thought there was going to be a vote today. Our Jake Tapper reported moments ago that Democratic sources are telling him that there aren't the votes there to pass it. If it goes down, what would the Secretary of State think of that?
Well, she's been very clear about this, and she's been asked about it. She's said a couple of things. She's voted for trade agreements in the past and against trade agreements, and her sort of test, if you will, on this one has been she wants to see the final language because she believes it's got to do two things. Number one, she's concerned about these issues of currency manipulation, and she's got concerns about are we protecting workers? And then number two, the big question is our national security. Does it keep America safe? And again, I think, given how dysfunctional Congress has been, to say, I want to see the final language makes a lot of sense.
Look, that's, in a way, that's a different issue than facing today. Today, they're saying, should the president have fast-track authority? Would Hillary Clinton, were she in the Senate today, and she was once there, would she vote to give him that fast-track authority?
I think she would want to see the language and see, and be able to then just...
what's in it, though? She roughly knows what's in it.
Okay, roughly knows what's in it, but saying you roughly know what's in something that could have huge implications in this country, that's not the same thing as saying I want to see where we end up and I want to see what the particulars are. How are we going to ensure that workers are protected? How are we going to ensure against currency manipulation? Not just the sort of big idea, okay, yes, check, these things are in there, but how are we going to do that?
Bernie Sanders is running for president against her, saying, come on, stand up.
And he's in the Senate.
And so the difference here is that he's actually read where the trade agreement stands right now. That's the only difference, you think?
Well, again, I think, that's part of it, certainly, but I think the other piece of it is, this is where she's coming from on this issue, but I would also point out she's been out on the campaign trail talking with voters. A few have asked her about this, and this is the answer she's given. But you know what? She's heard voters she's talked about small businesses and family issues and paid leave and voting rights. And one of the things that this ramp-up period has given her the hear what people want to talk about, it's been heroin and opiate addiction, which is a huge problem in this country.
And it is so important, and we have heard the Secretary talk about that, and I think it is a very important issue. I do not think you're going to tell me if the Secretary supports or opposes this measure today. She certainly hasn't said it. Let's talk